Tell me what you hope this kind of display does. What kind of effect could it have?
Well, I mean, I think it lets New York City as a whole know that this affected a lot of people here. You know, a student down at Cooper Union, you know, had her eye blown out by Israeli commandos. I think it makes it difficult for the world to believe that you peacefully wanted to investigate what was on a ship by jumping on it off a helicopter from a rope in the middle of the night. You know, the other ships were searched in a much more professional manner, and I think when people talk about individuals that wanted to provoke someone else, obviously we can see who wanted to provoke who.
Well, actually, the statement that's come out of the White House from U.S. President Barack Obama is that all the facts are not known yet. The U.S. has not condemned Israel, the only member of the Security Council that did not condemn Israel.
Israel will condemn Israel before the United States condemns Israel.
Why do you say that?
Because there are people there who were at the protest yesterday, who were there before our protest got there to condemn Israel for desecrating their graves and for turning Judaism into a nationality rather than a religion. So there are already individuals that have a conflict within the sphere of what someone would look at as the other side, whereas I look at the problem and the issue, I see several sides to it. I see several issues. And not to think that there's just two sides pulling on Obama. I bet there are 4, 5, or 6 sides that are pulling at him. So he's trying to angle which best way he will offend the least amount of people.
The U.S. has asked for Israel to conduct a transparent investigation.
That's impossible. The only way a transparent investigation or an unbiased investigation will happen is if it's an independent investigation. Unfortunately, you know, the UN Security Council, without the United States, has no teeth. It's incapable of enforcing anything.
So, this brings me back to a question that I've asked you before.
Right.
How do you create change? I mean, beyond this demonstration?
Well, I think this is an interesting step. I think this shows people that there are several individuals from all over New York City, New Jersey, that have a sentiment, that have a dedication, that are willing to take to the streets. It's good to galvanize the public to make them show that there's support for it. But I think beyond that, this is just like pre-step one. You know, there are some people who go home from this and never do anything besides that, which I think is a shame. And then there's some people who really just see this as a catalyst for everything that comes afterwards. I know it's easy to lose heart when you look at these and you say, well, what can I see concretely that came out of this? Did Israel change its policy? But I think that when you show people that we're willing to organize and you actually start doing more things like this, it leads people to remember that there still is support in the street for it, that there's a multi-ethnic and a huge varying of ages in the demographic of people
and
that
religions.
support it, and religions as well. So I think that's another important thing to do, because you can only say so much in an interview or in a movement, but if you see, you know, 3,000 Orthodox rabbis that are protesting in the state of Israel, if you see young people from every nationality that are here, you know, it tells you something about the diversity that's involved in the questioning of Israel's foreign and domestic policy, and the fact that people are here to question and they're here to have, you know, open debates. There's been no violence, there's been no fights, there's been no drama. If anything, the protesters are the ones that have gotten harassment from some people on the street.
What do you think it's going to take?
You're sneaking a whole interview into it. I like that.
No, I'll ask you one last
question.
That's
real DC of you.
No, it's fine. Oh my God, he's calling me names. Last question then. Why are you taking pictures? I noticed you taking pictures. You're standing in front of the crowd. You have your camera.
Cops take pictures of me. I take pictures of cops. That's how it works.
There's a little bit more to it than that. Why are you taking? You're filming.
I'm
you're
dead
taking
serious.
pictures.
When people take pictures of me, I take pictures of them. I don't know who they are. I don't know who they could be. And also, I like to document things, and I think it makes everything a lot more interesting for me. You know, when I go home, I look at it and I say, "Wow, look at this individual. Where are they from?" You know, a 16-year-old child next to like a 90-year-old grandmother. I think that contrast is very interesting. I think that's a part of filmmaking as well. I mean, you'll see that when you go home and have to edit these shots and say, "Wow."
We're not editing.
All right, I'm sure.
We're leaving it raw.
I'm sure we're leaving it raw. No, look, in America, there's the freedom of speech. There's the freedom for people to protest. There's the freedom for people to have a voice to complain against their government. Once that voice is gone, once that freedom is gone, the only thing left to us would be, you know, armed revolution in the streets.
You think that's next?
If this disappears, yes. Because I think that people can only take so much. I think American public is very pacified. We're the only country that'll spend 18 hours on a fucking plane just because the guy told you not to get up out of your seat. Anywhere else, they'll rip the fucking doors off the window.
Idling, just idling.
But we're a very pacified nation, a lot of things. And I feel like, you know, this allows us the expression of that. And that's why I'm here. You know, some people say, hey, Technique, I thought you questioned marches and demonstrations. I still do. And I still think that this is not the end-all, be-all to the problem. This is just the beginning.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.